Now that is soldered and shrink tube. That's what it's supposed to look like if you make a repair. Look at that. No problems. Let's wrap this sucker up with some tape. Seal this thing down. On to the next one. Alrighty. Let's just see here. Oh, yep. Yep, it happened. So, we are now basically, I got the dash pulled off. I mean, this is masking tape. It just, these, how can you say it? These firewall plastic rubber, it's like a rubber coated foam, they break apart. That's why that looks terrible. I don't really like using that, but you don't see it once the dash is in. All it has to do is just hold this up good enough. You know, that tape will deteriorate also just the same. So I mean, it works okay to get that together. We pulled the heater box out. What we had going on was you could smell the heater core was actually just starting to go. There was a little bit in there, and you could actually smell the odor coming in through there, like the coolant smell when it gets hot. You know, kind of if you leak a little bit of coolant, you could smell it coming through. So we took care of that. That's all done. We cleaned the entire inside of the box out. There was dirt and leaves and other stuff that you normally find in a car of this age. So we took care of that. I cleaned up all the wiring that was here. Everything's good. I'm going over the gauge wiring. So I'm going over that. I pulled all that out. We have plug and play harnesses for the watt box and the boost box that we're putting in. Also, the car does have a Mopar short throw shifter, and it's, you know, nice, a lot tighter. You know, this thing had like 10 times the amount of play there, but you know, everything's good there now as far as the trans is concerned. Went over the dash. We added one of the Mopar pockets because we had one of those. We got that in. Here's some of the wiring for that. You know, we've added a lot of screws that weren't in here. You know, here's the rest of the gauge wiring. It kind of was a tangled mess. It needed to come out to be even able to get the dash out. We got the plug and play harness stuff's run. Busy working on getting stuff tucked in. We got some aftermarket headlights that we're installing also, because the ones that were in here were in some bad shape. You know, just like I said, continuously going over this. Last night we got the brakes on. We stuck a set of brand new Russell stainless lines on. We flushed the entire brake fluid system through every single line, bled new fluid through everything. Everything's done all around. We got to trim a little bit of these blue zip ties here, because that's just how they are when you use the aftermarket stuff. Yeah, there you go. Still got to trim them, but we got everything. Everything is back together, man. This thing is really starting to come together and look good. I just wish we had some fundage for coilovers right now in the budget, because that would definitely finish this off. The coilovers, new front sway bar bushings and end links along with the rear end links. That was another thing. Like I said, you'll find more. This bushing down here on the bottom of the sway bar is actually missing. There should be a bushing on the lower side, kind of like that one. So that was missing there. I don't know if I mentioned, we had the pan off. We resealed the pan, cleaned up all the oil and the grease that was all over this thing. Yeah, I mean, this thing is just, it's coming together 100%. It's looking a whole lot nicer. We re-zip tied up, which I can't see it in here. We re-zip tied up the fuel line. Nice for now. I think we're going to end up redoing that when we do a rewire for the pump as the upgrade. So, but yeah, I mean, definitely, this thing's definitely coming along. It's getting somewhere. Like I said, we still got some more parts that we're waiting to get, but it's gonna go from a nightmare back to a dream again. So, all in due time, man. It takes a lot of time to make something nice. Well, I'll go back over like some of the updates, but pretty much just wanted to get in here at the end of today. Spent quite a few hours playing with some stuff here today. We did get a lot farther. So here we go. We got some upgraded headlights that we installed. We have an upgraded intercooler that we installed. We installed the overflow here. We have routed down through. The headlights are in. The washer bottle is actually going to be used for windshield washer fluid now. It's actually run correctly, as you can see. We got some bolts into there. I still got to find a little cover for that yet. I mean, everything's slowly coming together. Aftermarket watt box harness, boost box harness to put in. Battery tray's nice. We still got to decide what we're doing with this, but I think that's going to be a winter project. Cleaned up the battery harness. That thing's in here all nice. Everything's kind of set up. I'm still working on getting these headlights mounted in with the harnesses, and I got to figure out what I'm doing with the boost solenoids. I got to figure out where I'm going to stick those. That being that said, we have a nicer steering wheel. The seats are back in. The center console is bolted down, along with, like I said, our door panels that now have screws in. I cleaned up all of the gauge wiring here. We are replacing the dash cover due to the crack in that end over there. It was kind of looked worse once we got it out. You can see right there. That's broke out. It's broke out here. A couple spots. Just kind of normal stuff. But we're apart. We're taking care of it. What else? What else? Still haven't decided what we're doing with that. Got a nice polished hood kit that we're sticking in. I still have to go through and redo the wiring for the radio yet. I got to double check the vacuum leak here once I get this thing up and running. I'm almost to that point now. Yeah, I mean, that stuff's together. We decided to install one of the factory kicker boxes because this does have the wiring for it. So I had one of those, so we're going to throw one of those in. Look at this. Nice new windshield wipers. I know we got rags up here. This sometimes turns into a bolt tray when you're working on stuff. You know, so we got those. I have a nice, we got a nice radio antenna wire. We replaced that. That works out pretty good. I got one cover on here. I got to dig out the other one. I wasn't too worried about them, but I think I'll stick them on for now because, like I said, we're gonna be redoing this. We got a heat shield. Again, I know the heat shield. Yep, I'm gonna tell you again. That's on order. So I mean, that's on its way here. You know, just trying to fix up a couple of these things that they have going on here. I'm gonna do something a little bit different with this setup here. Try to make that look a little bit better. Yep. Okay. And we're going to mount our catch can right here, but we're going to have it going the right way. I just checked out for the reverse lights. It turns out that we have a bad trans switch in the trans, or there's damage to the wiring from it being wrapped around the axle somewhere in this wiring. So I'm almost going to have to pull that out of the transmission. Hopefully I can get it out. Well, it's in here. Most of the time I replace these when they're out. So it's right here. So that's going to be kind of fun to get to. But that's probably what the problem is. It's probably got damage in the wiring here. Hopefully I don't have to let it down again. But you know, another day. It does take a lot longer time. It takes a lot longer and it's a lot longer process. How's that sound? It's a lot longer process and it takes a lot more time to put stuff back together. especially with the aftermarket parts, because sometimes, you know what I mean, you got to try to fit something up 2 or 3 times, and then once you add in like this aftermarket part and these aftermarket lights, and you got, you know, aftermarket parts, you have to put it together sometimes, run wires a certain way, see what's going to work out best, see how it's going to fit, see how you like it, and make sure the way that you're installing it is not going to cause damage to any of those other items, because, you know, factory stock stuff's tested and it works good. They spend a lot of time doing that. Don't get me wrong, aftermarket companies do that also, but they might only test one part with all stock stuff. They don't test that aftermarket part with a bunch of aftermarket parts. It just never works that way. You never get that lucky. You're the guinea pig. So, but anyway, yeah, we're getting there. I got cotter keys to stick in the axles. They weren't in there, so we're going to take care of that. And, I mean, yeah, I mean, it's just more and more is getting done, and less stuff that we don't like is being found. So I would honestly say at this point, I mean, we did pull the dash, we did the heater core. The only thing so far we didn't do is pull the motor. This one here had the bolt broke off in for the headlight. I drilled that out. That came out perfect. So we got a bolt going in there. I got to get a bolt in over here. A new battery that holds charge and starts the car. That's a plus. It did have a turbo guard, but now we have an air cleaner. So I mean, that's definitely a plus too. I don't know if I mentioned this. We got the rubber on the tires now. Okay, here's the old wheel. I mean, it was really pretty deteriorated. There's the old windshield wiper. I think that was the one that was held on with the zip tie. So, but yeah, definitely. I mean, like I said, it just a little bit at a time, and you get there. It does. It takes a lot of patience, a lot of knowledge, and a lot of know-how to make something right. Even when you know what you're doing. So.